Local authorities have been tasked with ensuring cities are prepared and ready to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic and an eventual recovery. Why cities? That's because what goes on in the economic hubs affects the well-being of a far wider community. So how have South African cities fared? Lebogang Lechuba is of the South African Cities Network, and she joins me now. Lebogang, good evening. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Communication becomes so crucial during a time such as this, and I wonder, how effective has communication in cities been, and are we finding that it moves beyond the central metropoles and actually gets into your townships and the areas that lie on the periphery of the cities?
Thanks, Cathy. Absolutely. Communication has been quite effective in the metros, and they've been very creative in how they conceptualize their communication strategies. In fact, most of the cities that we work with have emphasized that the focus of their communication strategies has been around the disadvantaged areas or the hotspots, because that's where, you know, the highest risk is, and it's difficult for people to social distance. So the effort has been, you know, very effective.
What have been some of the challenges?
Some of the challenges really is around the tension between, you know, informational campaigns and behavioral change. So as much as the cities are putting in a lot of time, effort, and resources on these awareness campaigns, it's been very difficult to now see the results paying off. The rates of infection are not decreasing, and this is something that city communicators are really grappling with.
Sure, and it's such an important point that you're raising because, of course, we know that in certain townships, even in Johannesburg, social distancing, the wearing of masks, none of that seems to be taken quite seriously, and yet they are the centers that carry a significant number of the populations of cities. So I wonder, how different can the approach be to ensure that it does filter down, that the message does lead to a change in behavior?
So one of the emerging issues that are coming out with the city communicators when we are in discussion with them is that there's really a greater need for partnerships with civil society. And what that means is working more closely with the local communities, maybe finding a champion within the local areas to start using those people in the awareness campaigns, or even start introducing influential people in the campaigns that city communicators are putting together. But to have city communicators carry that responsibility on their own is proving not to be effective. And I think also it's not really something that should be on the shoulders of city communicators only.
How do you begin to plan for the long term? Because COVID-19 is going to be with us for some time yet. So in the next 6 months, we'll still have to, for all intents and purposes, be implementing the very same measures that we are now.
That is something that we're actually grappling with in communication with our city communicators. And I think one of the solutions or, you know, ideas that is going around is that there needs to be more synergy in communication strategies between the national, provincial, and local level, because city communicators still have to plan marketing strategies, communication strategies around IDP processes, service delivery, and other issues or the regular business of municipalities. So essentially, it's just improving the synergies between the different levels of government and how we frame our communication strategies.
So then how do you measure effectiveness if the communication isn't resulting in any change? How do you know whether, you know, this is what you've done is the right thing? What some of the criteria, what are the indicators of that success?
That is a very difficult metric to put out, and I think that's one of the things that, you know, we've been trying to assist city communicators to come up with. But at the moment, what we can say is that, look, these are the messages that can be put out, and if we are putting out statistics on the COVID cases in a particular area or a particular suburb, the hope is that then there'll be maybe a decrease in the acceleration of the spread, if I'm making sense. But that is what, you know, city communicators have at the moment at their disposal. But that's definitely something that we need to work on.